Cardinals versus Vikings. Here we go. I'm going to break down the matchup, get my prediction, my projection, my comparisons, my matchup. But before we get into that topic, Kyler Murray versus Kirk Cousins, I got to hear from you guys. Who do you have winning this football game? And comment down below your score prediction. Is it going to be a shootout, a blowout, a one-score game, whatever it is? Comment down below and we'll see how we match up. Getting straight into it, though. Kyler Murray last week, if you watched him, looked like he could be the front runner for the MVP case. I know it's early. It's extremely early. It's speculative. It's week one. But when you have those type of numbers, when you have that type of performance against a team you're supposed to get smacked by if you ask the right person, you're going to be having some higher investments in you. But new week, Vikings got a tough loss handed to them, and they're going to be looking for revenge. And to me, these are the two exact teams that will be in the tightest contention for the last wild card spot in the NFC. You know, if the Cardinals keep playing like they do, it won't even be close. But assuming both of these teams can play at, the Cardinals probably won't be playing at the apex peak they did last week. Will probably be playing a little less, and the Vikings will probably be playing a little better than they did in week one. Assuming they kind of reach closer in the middle, this very head-to-head matchup could really determine who makes the final wild card spot. I truly believe we could see these two fight for it. Looking at some stats, you saw the last game. Arizona had 280 passing yards. Minnesota had 336 rushing yards. Arizona took over. Minnesota, Dalvin Cook was not very Dalvin Cook-like, if you ask me. Of course, Chase Edmonds didn't do it all on his own. He had Kyler on the ground to help him out, and James Conner, but still, you guys know what I mean. Looking at the overall breakdown, who wins what matchup, quarterback matchup, I got to give the edge to this one for the Cardinals. Kyler Murray, I do have better than Kirk Cousins. I think is a higher ceiling, and he is on the come up. Backfield, I'm going to give this one to Dalvin Cook over Chase Edmonds and James Conner. If you throw in Kyler Murray there, as far as backfield as a whole, you could make the argument, but at pure running back, we all know the Vikings have the better one. Receiving room, this is tough. Adam Thielen and Jay Jettis is the best duo between these two teams, but when you got D-Hop, good chance you're gonna win that argument. D-Hop, AJ Green, Rondell Moore, Christian Kirk looked pretty solid. I'm slightly leaning towards the Cardinals specifically due to D-Hop, and then their second and third and fourth best options being relatively solid, but it is kind of a toss-up. This is kind of pick your poison, so kind of up to you who you think the better receiving room is. Offensive line, both got their question marks. I think they both made decent moves this offseason, not huge ones. Cardinals getting Rodney Hudson's the big one I'm talking about, and just the Vikings really re-signing O'Neal's kind of their big one. They did get Christian Darrisaw, another guard, but still, this is another pick your poison, whoever is better between the offensive line. You tell me. Defense, this is where it gets interesting. Looking at the Cardinals' pass rush, if Chandler Jones could put up even 2 sacks again in the game, that is going to be tough. He's not going to put up 5 again, I don't think. But if he can even get to the quarterback and put up 2 sacks, that's going to be a phenomenal kickstart to the season. Have J.J. Watt on his other side, Savon Collins, Twinkle Toe Simmons flying around in the front 7. Who's the other linebacker? I can't think off the top of my head. Cardinals got a pretty good unit. So did the Vikings as well. Their, defensive line wasn't as lethal as I wanted it to be in week one, but still, Daniil Hunter, Dalvin Thompson, Sheldon Richardson, Michael Pierce, Patrick Jones, I hope can kick it into second gear, third gear, fourth gear. Just go full throttle and actually step up on that front line, and that'll be a pretty good pass rushing matchup. Looking at the secondary, both are kind of thin. I would say Patrick Peterson, facing his old team, might have a little bit gas left in the tank extra specifically for this game, but Byron Murphy looked really good, and we know how good Budda Baker is. He's just hitting his prime. The Vikings, Harrison Smith is a great safety. He's up there with Budda Baker, but I just feel like they're thin at the cornerback position with Pat Pete and Bashad Breeland. We'll have to see how that goes. Personally, I am leaning towards the Arizona Cardinals in this game. Now, if you asked me in the offseason before week one who do I have winning this matchup, I would have said the Vikings. I truly would. But just what I've seen in week one, even though it's a small sample size, my mind is changing. And you look at the things, they have the better receiving room. They have arguably the better defense. They have arguably the better quarterback, these are all arguable. The defense, I still think the Vikings have a great one when healthy. Eric Kendricks, Anthony Barr, that linebacker core is going to be insane now that it's together and healthy, but it still needs to be on the same page. It still needs to click. Mike Zimmer needs to get this defense under control, and he needs to get this team under control. I do think the Vikings are going to be hungry entering this game, realizing they can't go down 0-2 at the start of the season if they want to be and are supposed to live up to being a playoff team. And the Cardinals, they realize how important this game is as well. When you're in the NFC West, every single game counts. You could go 11-6 and miss the playoffs in this type of division and be last in your division in this type of division. Seahawks, Niners, and Rams are not playing around. I believe in the Cardinals and I like their future, but every win counts, and this is the big one for them. They could get a 2-0 jump start. They started 2-0 last year, but then they kind of fell apart, went 2-2, and they rebounded. I think they were 5-2, and then they finished like 8-8 or something like that. Cardinals just weren't on top of their stuff last year. We'll see how Cliff Kingsbury is. We know he wants to keep his job. That's for dang sure. But he still needs to prove it. A lot of people are against him. A lot of people are for him. Mike Zimmer, I'm still not the biggest fan that's sold on him. But these are the tough 50-50 games where you have to see who is the better one, who's going to come out on top, who wants it more, who is going to be making the postseason. You look at the odds of this game. Let's see what it is. Again, Arizona is at home. Arizona's favored, -4. That seems about right to me. 64% versus 36%. Again, favored by 4. Minnesota +4. Arizona -4. Pros for both teams again, really quickly. Cardinals are at home. They have the better quarterback. They're coming off the hotter week. They have supposedly the better pass rush. Supposedly, as of today, the better defense, arguably. Better receiving room. And the Vikings, they have Dalvin Cook. They have the pieces. They have everything they need that can go match up well against the Cardinals, even surpass the Cardinals in some positions, in some areas, in some aspects. But they seriously need to get the chemistry there. They just need to be on the same page and allow themselves to realize this is a 50-50 game that could really determine whether or not at the end of the season, if we make the playoffs, because we won this head-to-head matchup or we lost this head-to-head matchup, is either why we're in or not in the playoffs. But we'll just have to see. You guys tell me what you think about this matchup. Who will win this game, Arizona or Minnesota Vikings? I personally do have Arizona edging them out just barely. The 4 points sounds about right. I would say a 24-21 game, a field goal kick away from having this game being tied. I got Arizona winning this. But like I said, comment down below your score prediction, shootout, blowout, one score, just like mine, whatever it is. Comment down below. And if there's a player, a fact, an opinion that I forgot to mention or I should have brought up, comment down below. I'm open-minded. I'm willing to see what you guys got to say. As always, and of course, thank you for watching, guys.